So here is the complaint. Now, for anyone that is maybe not so familiar with this case, this, of course, we are talking about Gabby Petito, the young woman who was a van life influencer who went missing. I think it was over the summer. I can't even remember the timing of this stuff anymore. She went missing. She was on a trip across America with her then fiance, Brian Laundrie. Turns out she died. And then we found out she was murdered. And then Brian Laundrie immediately returned home to Florida. He went to his parents. He kind of hid out with them for a while. And then he decided to get up and, I guess, go hiking, quote unquote. That was at least what they were saying, is that he just, decided to go for a walk, basically. Then he himself went missing, and then it turns out that he had died in the Florida Everglades. And there have always been some questions about his parents, what they knew, what they didn't know, what they were doing. So anyhow, so a lot of people have had a lot of questions about if there could be potential liability here. And people have talked about civil liability and criminal liability. So today we are only talking about civil liability. And this is by the parents of Gabby Petito, and they are suing the parents of Brian Laundrie. So basically we're going to go through here. And I have kind of scrolled through this, so I have an idea of what it is that they're alleging here, but I haven't gone into the details here. So there probably will be some things that'll jump out at me as kind of a first impression going through it. So, but I have, like I said, I have an inkling of what this is going to be saying. Now, we're going to be looking at it as any judge would be looking at any complaint. So is this going to be a complaint that would, number one, survive? And number two, are these the kind of claims that maybe we could see somebody having a successful lawsuit over? So those are kind of two different questions, right? Number one is, can this complaint survive the first step, which is a potential motion to dismiss or a demur? Now, the standard for that is very low. Remember, if you've been following the other lawsuits on this channel that we talk about, when we've gone through complaints, I just did a motion for summary judgment the other day, but I've done a number of complaints on this channel already. So generally speaking, what we're talking about is a very low standard. Most likely, you can have a complaint where somebody kind of just word vomits out a lot of facts and some general allegations. And if they happen to fit all of the boxes of the elements of a particular claim, then it's probably going to survive. Sometimes it's a little bit messy because you might go back and forth between the parties. It's always a lot better to have a clean complaint that is very clear. You know exactly what they're alleging. You know exactly where the facts fit into the different elements, into those boxes. But you can still have one survive that is a little bit messier. I've seen it because I've seen complaints that were filed by prison inmates in the California prison system that had all kinds of gobbledygook that I literally had to cut apart a handwritten complaint, a copy of a handwritten complaint, and rearrange the pieces so that they all fit into a timeline so that I could then literally paste it together so that I could understand what they were saying and take a look at whether or not this was a complaint that could survive. And oftentimes those complaints would survive. So if those are the type of complaints that can survive, or somebody's just like kind of word vomiting onto a page, the likelihood that something is going to be struck down kind of low. So just to keep your expectations tempered as we go through. Because basically all you need to do is to state a plausible claim. Have you alleged enough facts? That's the basic question there, is have you alleged enough facts to state a claim that is plausible? It doesn't even necessarily need to be a widely recognized claim. It could be a new claim that is of a first impression, technically, but it has to have some sort of basis, some sort of legal authority. Basically, it can't just be like, all of these things happened and I'm mad. So anyway, that's very, very, that's simplifying it quite a bit. But anyhow, I digress.